You're
Hello,
wrong, Joe.
everybody. We're here. We're live. This is the
Start
new
it
week.
off.
This is it. We're going. We are game prepping tonight, boys and girls. This is what we do. We're going to show you guys how we prep for our games. Now, I kind of know how Tim does it because I've seen his videos of him prepping. I think they might know how I do it because I talk a little bit about it. I have no idea how Paul preps for his games. And Paul's a pro DM. He gets paid to do his shit. So we're going to learn some stuff from a professional DM, how you prep for games. And we all prep for different games too, like a different style of games, convention games, campaign games. Paul, you prep for different groups. You play for kids, for like bachelor parties. You know, but I want to know how you prep for like the strippers at the bachelor parties. If they're playing in the game, what do you do for them? You know, and all this stuff. So there's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah. So why don't we start with Paul? Take it away, dude. How do you prep for your games, man?
Well, I will say this, that my prepping style has probably changed over the years.
Okay.
To some degree. I was a super prepper. Like I would have a lot of notes.
Nice.
I would have a lot of things planned out.
Nice.
I would have to I'm in the mind of my players. Like, okay, well, if they go over here and if this happens, I got this. And if this goes over here, now that's a certain style that, whatever. Now that I'm older, I'm probably less of a prepper. I still do a fair amount of prep. Like, look, if I know the adventure, if I know, that's number one. If I'm going to prep, is know the adventure. If I'm running, let's say, Tim, I just recently ran you guys for Lord Mattias's of the White Wizard, Return of the White Wizard, and that was very little prep, only because first of all, Lord Mattias does a great job of writing the material. And then
you ran a game for Tim called Lord Mattias's what? Say that what?
Lord Mattias from Second Watch ran an adventure called Return of the White Wizard.
Okay.
And it was Tim and Matthew Shermer and Mike Halloran.
Okay.
And I ran so first of all, Lord Mattias does a great job of doing that. But the first thing is read the adventure. If you're running an adventure that way, read the whole adventure. That's my thing. Then I'm looking for high points, right? Then I'm looking for this part, and this part. Now, something Tim may not know is that at the beginning of that adventure, I included at the beginning something that wasn't even in the adventure. And I'm not even sure if I should have done it or not, but I had to add some. Why are you here? I could have put you right at the beginning. I could have put you right in front of the thing, at the immediate thing. But I thought to myself, no, I'm going to go ahead and just build the story out a little bit to where you have some sort of context of maybe what you're getting into. So I created a little bit. So depending on my prep goes, look, where does this adventure start? And is there anything in here that is going to derail these players? Like I'm looking at it and going, if I say this, does that send them over this way? If I talk more about, and I can't control that, but I am looking at that. I am looking through the adventure and going, okay, they may get a little fascinated with that, and that's fine if that's where it goes, but I'm aware of it. So I try to read the adventure, make sure I know it. I take maybe a page, like a pad, 1 page of notes maybe that I think are going to be applicable, depending if it's a one shot, depending if it's campaign, where are we at in this? So for me, the prep now is low prep, not no prep. There's some people that just show up and I still got to prep. I still make sure I like to, one thing I do prep, and this is not necessarily for, but I try to have, things for the table. I still like minis. I still like physical things, like physical maps to hand to people. I like to give people notes. So I will get on my computer and I will go ahead and print out things. So part of my prep is, would this be cool, right? If I printed it out, change the font and handed it to them and tore it up, or I take things and burn the edges, right? Said, okay, is that cool? So I'm looking for, know the adventure. Are there any props that I think would be cool? And I think even digital props work too, that if I want to throw something in there, like Tim shows us pictures of his street gangs in Scorn that are running around. So do I have any applicable pictures? Do I have anything that's going to be ignite something visually for players? And make sure I have that. And then that's really not, other than that, like, do I have new players at the table? So I will have little baggies maybe of like little bags of like prep stuff. Like it'll have dice. It'll have. I always give somebody a index card. Which I have my index cards here. I'll give them an index card.
You know what an index card is.
Yeah,
we know what an index card is.
That's right. You know what an index card is. So I put an index card in there because I want them to fold it like a little table thing. And on one side, I want their real name to start with, so I know everybody's name around the table. On the other side, I ask them to write their character's name.
Yep.
So that way, when I say, "Hey, it's time. We're going to go ahead and play," go ahead and turn your cards around because I'm going to be addressing you as your character's name.
Yeah. Smart.
It's almost
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's like Sylvester Stallone was my ideas in Over the Top. You always knew he meant business when he flipped his cap around. And to me, in my head, it was like when you turn that card around, it is game on.
It's business time.
Now you're playing your character. Right. Now you're playing your character. That's how I'm going to address you by that, right?
I like it.
So I try to give. It depends. So I have new players, then I give them a little thing of information, cards, pen, all the things they're going to need, notes, take notes, that kind of stuff. And then that's pretty much it for me. I mean, I just try to think about who's going to be around the table, and make sure I have all the things for them. So number one, just know the adventure. Number two, is there any glittery, sparkly stuff I can give, like props? Can I put, does everybody need miniatures? What do we need for that? Monsters, what are that? And then the third thing is, just making sure that when we get started, everybody has what they need, and then we're just into it.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
How do you prep differently for an ongoing campaign though, Paul?
Yeah.
Well, I have to make sure,
because that sounds like more of a one-shot kind of deal that you're talking about.
Yeah. Right. In a campaign style, right? I have to keep my facts straight, right? So, like example, in your game that you're running, right, with me on Tuesday nights, the one-on-one, I had to make a glossary.
I got that too. I got one for Tim's game.
I have
it's like 4 pages long
of terms, of people, of magic items. I have an entire glossary. So I think that's important for a campaign, is that do you know what sometimes we get so far into something we don't know how best this
we forgot. Yeah. I think that happened last
time. The NPCs, right? I keep better track of those type of things, and make myself a short list of stuff that says, okay, I gotta, we're carrying on with this. I gotta remember what happened last session. I got to keep those notes. I keep my notes, like for Shadow Dark here, campaign notes.
Right.
That's an important thing for DM to keep, is make sure you keep notes for yourself of things you said. Who did you say it to? What did this NPC say? Whatever's going on, I have to, make sure I have, good notes on that. So that's what I do for at least for campaigns, is make sure I have a glossary. And my players, by the way, need that glossary as well, maybe because they don't know. If they're not keeping notes, I have to, try to help them along with that. So almost like a player's guide. Here's player's guide to the campaign, right? Here's the player's guide for that.
And
an ever-growing player's guide.
And those notes help me. Sometimes I'm like, shit, I don't remember, because I think that happened to our game a couple nights ago. I can't remember what it was, and neither one of us could. We're like, I can't. We didn't play for 2 weeks, and now it's like way too long for me.
Right. Well, I would ask you something like, what is that? What does Viperweed do? Right. Who owns Tug's Bar? Oh, the half elf owns. He bought it from Tug, and Tug just hangs around. So you got to remember who owns things, who runs things. You got to remember these people.
Yeah. You want to go, Tim, or you want me to go?
Go ahead, Joe. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead. Okay. First of all, what we should do is, like, is this you prepping for a one shot, a campaign, live table, virtual table? Because I mean, all that kind of comes into play. How I think we prep too.
The only time I run one shots is maybe once every couple of years, like I mentioned. I don't do one shots. I don't even know how to really do good one shots, right? And I'm a campaign guy. All right. So with me, it's notes. It's everything. I type shit in on the computer, and then because I'm fucking old, I print it up and put it in a fucking folder, right? And so I do have the index cards with quick notes that I write who has what going on. But going what you said, Paul, like just the shit from my brother's game. This is what I'll bring to the table, and I spread it all out. And we're in person, but even if I'm playing online on Roll20, I still got this next to me, right? Or I have it pulled up on the computer. It's the same document, just in a different form. It's either digital or it's printed, and I generally use the printed one anyway. So I always have my sheet here with my combat tracker with an insane amount of information on it. Right, everything I would need to know about.
That's old school there, Joe. I remember those back when we used to buy those sheets back in the day. Yeah,
I made it up. This is specifically for my system, for my game system. Everything I need to know. I have this is set in like an Anglo-Saxon, Norse, Viking, Celtic hodgepodge mix-up thing. So here's my names: male, female, and last names. Right, I got that going. Like I wrote, there was a big dinner party, or blah blah blah. So I wanted to keep track of the things I wanted, the topics of conversation in this salon. Right, here's all the talking points. All right, so I had that in front of me when that was going on. All the various topics of discussion. Right. And then I have like the NPCs, right? The Duke of Keldrake, his name, his son's name, his wife's name. All right. And what I have here is their income. Where did they get their source of income? What is their house lore, culture, philosophy? What are the goals or ambitions? And each noble house is right here. It's all in front of me, right? And then when I had an even bigger party, I did a better format. I have this. All right, I have a nice, neat format for
why don't you biggen yourself, Joe, so we can see you better?
All right.
Yeah.
There we go. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, biggen yourself there so we can see it a little bit better.
Yeah. So I can't show this because my brother will see it. Let me show this one.
Yeah.
There you go. So this is the voice and manner of speaking. What they're looking for
Very
tonight.
Cool.
What they like to talk about, what they'll never talk about, what is their tell, what is their secret, what in the room of the other people in the room, who do they want to talk to, what do they like, right? What gossip do they have ready? If they're pressed, what will they say? Their posture as to the prince and their loyalty as to whoever else might be in the room, so that sort of thing, right? So that's one. That's the kind. I had one of these for like 17 different people. Right, so I had it all spread out on the fucking table in front of me. So
I keep losing those damn thing. I'd be like, wait a minute, hold a second. Where did I keep from my paper? Where's the Duke?
That's the other thing, And then I also keep like notes from each session. What happened? My notes in each session. I write it down, and then at the end of it, I write as soon as the session's over. Ideas, hooks. What is unresolved? What can I work on? What can I talk about? Right. I bring my shittily drawn maps, all right, because this is my mapping skill, like a fucking retarded 6-year-old, right? So this is my shittily drawn maps. I have reference sheets, things like that. I always print up my here's my sewer troll. Here's my stat block for my RPG.
Oh yeah.
This is you guys. I guess you're getting the first look at my stat block for my RPG here.
I know it's terrifying, Joe.
It's terrifyingly massive. But yes, this is how it's going to be. So get used to it, bitches. So that's the sort of thing I bring to the table with me at every game. But in terms of, and then, more game notes and this and that, in terms of prep, as you're watching this video, you will have seen most likely, and if you haven't, go back and watch it. There's a video that's dropping on July 31st. And that video is about the greatest thing ever for DM prep is the game journal. It drops tomorrow, guys. So I'm telling you this is July 30th as we record this. It drops tomorrow, but the game journal to write shit down after the game happens immediately. Clean up to get the Dorito dust off the table, whatever the fuck you got to do. Sit down and write shit that happened and have all your ideas come from that. Now, what I started doing, which is amazing, I didn't realize how great a resource this would be. I figured this is just a members only benefit. I jump online in 11:30 midnight or whatever. I do a members only video. You guys have jumped in here and there, and I talk about the game I just did. And basically, it's great because I'll talk for half hour, 40 minutes, and then before the next game for my prep, I listen to it again because it's like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, you're not going to remember that shit. You know what I mean? You're not going to remember that shit at all. And so if you don't write it all down in detail, so if you're going to do a video or do an audio recording of whatever that happened, go back and listen to it. But as for the prep before the game, It's an ongoing thing. I'll think about it when I'm taking a shit, taking a shower, driving a car, whatever it is. I'm always thinking about it, and I text myself notes. Oh, that's a cool idea. Let me write that down. I literally have myself in my texts, and I text myself notes, and I'll just, instead of a little notebook or something like that, and I'll write it all down. But in terms of just big ideas, I know, Tim, you like to look at tables and books and all that stuff, and I remember Matt Jackson talking about this, and he goes, yeah, I guess you do what we all do. We roll on tables and figure it out. I said, I don't do anything like that. I have a drink, I take a puff, I sit on the deck, I look at the stars, and I clear my brain and I let shit come to me. I've gotten some of the best ideas for prep. Believe it or not, I meditate every night, and I get my best ideas when I meditate, especially after a game. Like when the game ends, after I do my video and shit like that, I'm up till 2 a.m. I'm just wired. I'm like, my mind is racing. And if I meditate after that, it's like the fucking input of the gods comes down upon me. And I just got to sometimes I've stopped meditating. It's like, fuck the meditation. I got to type this out. I got to write this down because I don't want to lose it. I remember Bob Dylan talking
t-shirt that says that. Fuck the meditation.
Fuck the meditation. Yeah, I need to write this shit down before I lose it. It's flowing through me. I'm in such a racing mind state, and I'm just meditating or a little stoned, a little drunk. It just comes like a fucking faucet into my head, and I got to write it down. I got to oh, good idea. Oh, shit. I remember I stopped meditating one night. I wrote it down. I went back to meditate, and more shit came. Like, fuck it. I'm just going to keep writing. This is the meditation, And I just kept going. And Bob Dylan talked about it. He goes, he said, where does the lyrics come from? He goes, not from me. I know this shit. How do you channel? I've channeled it. He says basically. And Michael Jackson, can't believe him said those two in the same fucking sentence. But yeah, Bob Dylan, Michael Jackson. He talked about Michael Jackson says 3 a.m. he gets an idea for a song, like comes full into his head, the whole fucking song, and he's like, I got to record this now because if I don't, Prince will. They both had the belief that this shit is out there, and somebody's going to download it. Its moment is now. Its moment will be had. And if I don't download that shit and get it out there, Prince will, or Madonna will, or somebody else.
I never knew that. It's a little funny. That's great.
Yeah. No, he literally said that. If I don't put it down in a song now and get it out there, Prince is going to fucking do it. I got to do it because that was a big competitor for that kind of vibe, right? And so I'm the same way. I'm like, and only recently in the past year, I've had these sort of experiences where I get shit from wherever the fuck. I know it ain't me. I'm not sitting there thinking about it logically. It's just I open my brain up. After thinking hard about something, I just stop and like, okay, come to me, bitch. And it does. It's wild. Right. It's really a wild experience, and it's creativity. And usually if it's not just in that moment, it's when I'm sitting down typing something. Like I need to be in the moment typing shit, writing it down, either on paper, typing it out. And as I start it, not knowing where I'm going to go, it's like, holy shit. More is coming, more is coming, more is coming. And I just keep going and going and going. That's my prep, and so I get all these good ideas and I put them all down. Then it's a matter of implementation. Right. And I like the big web, I don't like, I'm a sandbox. I'm not a railroad guy. So I like the web. Right. So I'm getting all the angles of all the different web stuff. And it's like, then it all comes out in a big fucking folder and I show up and we'll see what the fuck happens.
How do you, but I mean, you're saying you're getting all this input and everything, Joe, but how do you, let's say maybe like filter it or condense it to make it an adventure session?
I don't, when it comes, I write it down, dude. I don't filter shit. If I filter
no, I get that. But once you've thrown it all up on the page, after that's done, how do you take all this? Because you can't use all of it. It sounds
you can't. Yeah.
A bunch of stuff. Yeah. How do you pick and choose, or like, what is your process in,
that's the writing.
I guess filtering it down.
Yeah, that's the writing down stuff. That is when I sit at the table and the computer here and I start like, okay, I got these 10 things.
Right.
Is this a current moment thing, or is that maybe 5 levels from now? Is this scene I'm going to use tomorrow, or is a scene I'm going to use when they're hit 7th level? Is this an angle I could use, or is this something that doesn't make much sense for this game, but I might use it later? Is this a maybe, or you know what I mean? It's like it's all out there. It's all on the page. And then it's like, well, what am I going to use tomorrow? You know what I mean? Yeah. How am I going to filter this shit down into the game tomorrow? That's pretty much how that's how it goes. But I keep all the original notes though. I have a whole, I call it the Bible. Like I have a whole document called the Bible. And it's just ideas. And I go back to it every once in a while and say, if I'm feeling stale or something, or nothing came to me this week or next week, you know what I mean? It's like, I go back to the Bible where all the ideas, the Island of Misfit Toys, the ideas I didn't use, Like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. I can use this now. Forgot about that. Or I go back to my text that I sent myself and I think, oh, this is great. Like, yeah, this could be here, And so it's just, it's not a process. I wish it was because it would be easier, but it's just this fucking weird thing, that I just, and there's only recently I started getting into this in the last year or so, where it's been this way. Before it was like herding cats, you know what I mean? Before it was more, I was being too anal. I was being too controlling. I was not letting go. I was making it more boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? I need this. I need one of these. I need two of those. I need one thing over here. Now I need to figure out what this, that, and the other thing are. And it's like, no, I just fucking let it come and figure out what the hell happens. So that's pretty much how I do it now. And I let it go and it seems to be working out, But like Paul said, I love the props. I love the stuff. Even though I moved my brother's game to online Roll20 to test out the character sheet in the last few sessions, I brought it back to my in-person thing because I got new things that I wanted to use out. You guys saw the skull thing and my board, my conspiracy theory board and all this shit, I dropped that on them the other night and they liked it, So I like the toys, I like all that kind of stuff. The miniatures. I can't wait. I hope you guys come up. I mean, we're gonna, like I said, that Wednesday night, if you both make it up here, that Thursday night or whatever before the con, we'll have a fucking game in person. Bringing all the toys.
Absolutely.
That'd be a fun time. That's pretty much what I do. That's my 10 minutes. What do you do, Tim?
Oh God, the weird thing is like, I mean, I know you see the tables and everything, but I don't have a one thing. I go with whatever kind of I'm vibing with at the time. Maybe it'll be some tables from this. Maybe it'll be a TV show that I saw. It just depends what's going on. I just kind of, and it also depends how much my brain is working that day. Because coming back from work, unfortunately, my work basically kills my ability to think when I get home. A lot of times, I'm just so brain dead at the time. But really, my adventure prep is kind of already set up at the beginning of the campaign. And what I mean by that is I know my campaign world pretty well because of running it for years. And even if I didn't do anything prep and you guys go into it and start acting into it, I know what the intricacies are going to happen and the factions that are in play and whatnot. But then once you guys get in, once you guys start in, actually my prep begins at the end of the last game.
Yes, me too. Big time.
And
huge.
Let me show you. This is a rare occasion, but I'm going to show you what my post notes of a game look like when I'm on top of it. Okay?
All right. We're gonna when you're on top of it.
Yeah. All right. When I'm on top of it.
Are we going to share screen here?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen.
All right.
So
did
Joe,
you hide the porn? Did you hide the porn links? They're
no, they're all good there. Yeah, I figured everybody's watching them anyhow.
All right.
So this is a session when you went into the Temple of Lavinia a few months back. So
make it bigger font. People can read it better.
Well, it doesn't matter if they can read it.
I want to read it. I want to cheat. I want to see what the hell's I'm in for.
You already know this stuff.
Oh,
you've already been. That's why I said you don't remember going through the Temple of Lavinia about a month ago.
You never know. There might be some there you slip up and fuck up and give it to us.
Well, I might be, but I can always change it. That's not a big deal. So this is where I go through, and I'll kind of write a brief, what's going on encounters, because usually in a 2-hour, session, there's probably maybe 3 different scenes, maybe 4, depending on what's going on. I think the last time you and I played Paul, because you were bouncing around, we might have had a few more and everything. And this is just some bullshit AI art that I make for the game just to help me kind of convey what I'm doing and everything. So I'll put it in there. I'll talk about it. I'll highlight the stuff that I need to, that's important. And then I color code stuff. NPCs are in yellow. Monsters are kind of in that orange color. And then
you do a lot.
And then on here, the purple is magic items, and then the kind of dark green one is sort of like plants or natural things that kind of go, and then I do different things. So I'll take all this stuff, kind of write the summary of the adventures, color code what I think needs color code, because if you guys, that way it's easy reference. Like if I can't remember what your magic item does, I can look back at my notes and just look for the purple boxes and find them very easy. It's like when you find that carcass powder, the carcass powder. Remember, Joe, for your potions and stuff.
Yep.
And then the Viz effect on healing potions. I made sure
I was going to say, look at that. What that is right there. Viz effect on healing potions, right? This is how Tim DMs. Now, we got Viz, which is like a magical booster, for lack of a better word, right? So boosts magic in some way.
It's the manifestation of magic in a physical form.
Yes, I mean usually you could do it. It takes in other words, it gives you a free slot, right, of something. You know what I mean?
Generally, yeah.
Right. And so we were thinking we got a healing potion, but we're really fucked up. And I said, well, what if we dropped Viz into the potion of healing? And it's like you're like, huh? And we're like, yeah, okay. And then you said right on the spot, you made the ruling that you could drop up to 3, and it maxes out because we had multiple Vizes. You didn't want to give us mega healing. And so you let us do it. And so we had a couple of Viz and a healing potion. And that came in handy because we got 3d6 plus 3 healing off of that potion, but we used up the Viz, right? And so what Tim did was he wrote a note for future reference. This is what this is what it does. You know, so that's good. That's good.
Yeah. And then I put, and like if you're having a magical world, one of the biggest things you need to do, of course, is have limitations. So while the real healing potions they are magical, so the Viz will affect it. Hugo's healing potions are not magical. They're more like this jacked up, herbal kind of thing. So the Viz wouldn't affect that. So that, so there's where it would. So, and if you ask me a month from now, if I remember that, probably not, kind of thing. So I need to know. And then what I'll do, like over here, it's just some of the stuff that they went through. But at the end of this, I'll put like next week. This one was easy because all they needed to do was escape scorn. Usually I put loose ends down there.
Yeah. So easy for you, hard for us to escape scorn, though.
Right.
Easy written, hard to do.
But right there, that is my prep for next week. Needs to escape scorn. That's my thing. So okay, so they got what they needed out of the temple. Now I got to figure out them going through the sewers and doing all those things. And one of the things I do to prep games is, and I will preach this till the end of the days and everything, I just present situations and I have no solutions. Like I don't think of any way to solve the thing. I just present here's the problem that you have right now. Figure it out. Tell me how you're going to figure it out. And if it makes sense to me, then we're going to go with it. I'm not going to say, well, you have to have the key of so-and-so to get through it. Like you guys decided, well, I'm going to take a left instead of a right here because, and it made complete sense. And I didn't think of that option, for whatever reason, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that makes complete sense. And part of the prep is being able to go off script, to be able to, know your campaign world enough for your adventure, like read the adventure, do the whole campaign prep ahead of time. So when they do go off script or go off, what you had planned, you can still adapt to it flawlessly, or at least hopefully seamlessly. So, they don't know any different. And, but here's the reality though. Let's drop this. Now I showed you the pretty version.
Yeah, that's the nice one.
Yeah, that's the nice one. Let me show you and big in my stuff there.
And big in your head?
Yeah. Right. So I have this notebook, guys. All right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is my campaign where I keep notes in. And don't do this, is I'm running 2 campaigns at the same time, and I got them both in here. Don't do that. It's just dumb.
I got 2 folders, one for each campaign. You got to have separation.
You got, yeah. So this is one I did for Snickle and Finkus the other day. So you just see some basic notes with some, bullet points and whatnot. Okay. All right. There's enough information. I can remember what the game is. Okay. Paul and I played last time? Like on Tuesday. Unfortunately, that day, that's all I fucking got.
Yeah,
this is the reality. To do it. yeah. Don't do this. But the thing is
we lost his mic. We lost his mic. You knew there's not a live stream that without Tim fucking up something on the electronic section of this. He is now silent.
He has been silent. I want to know this. This is the real question. I want to know if Tim preps for your game differently than he preps for my game.
Good question. We'll never actually know the fucking answer because he can't handle electronic equipment. So that's the problem. Well, we still don't hear you, motherfucker. We hear nothing. We hear nothing. Hello, we got the dog behind him. We got Tim's doggy. We can be entertained by the doggy and the sleeve
Here's a
stack
good
behind
question,
him.
Joe. What if we dropped it? We'll plan this without Tim here. What if you dropped Viz into a Hugo's?
It wouldn't work because it's not magical. Yeah, Viz only works on magical shit. Hugo's.
Well, it might work though. It might be magical.
No, he pretty much said it ain't gonna happen. He pretty much said. But he also said, Paul, that he likes playing with me far more than playing with you. He actually said that. And since he can't defend himself right now, it's pretty much canon, you know. So he really appreciates me and Ken in our game. He says you suck, and so yeah, this is pretty much what he said. Literally all the time. He says it so much. Yeah.
I'm on the game with Paul.
See,
Can
he's
you hear me
shaking
now,
his head.
guys?
You guys.
Hey, you're back.
I don't know what I did. My notebook hit the keyboard and muted me somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. So you like running for Joe and Ken more than me, huh? That's the deal.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Heard it.
So the big difference between you two is just locations. So Paul, you're in the middle of a fucking city, so I got to prep for a lot more going on. You have a lot more NPCs going on. I mean, one of the other things I do with prep too, and these are invaluable. Kind of do what Joe does, but I just make these lists of NPC names, lists and lists. So in case they run into something, and then I'll write underneath of who they are and what they are, and if I have it, I'll add it to my notes.
We got our half hour, and like we usually do, 10 minutes a pop for a topic, but I want to expand it a few more minutes because I think I'm getting a lot of comments and one guy today, especially on our videos talking about the random tables, because this is, by the way, we're recording this on 7:30, guys. We dropped our video on the 30th of July. And it was on random encounters. And one guy, I forget his name, but hello, thank you for all the links. You pasted like massive amounts of text walls into there. And he talked about how much he used AI for random encounters and how good it was. So because we're leaning into the AI age here, it might be good to finish with what, if any, do you use AI for in your prep?
Artwork.
I know you do.
Yeah, I just do it like it. Yeah, so that way when I'm talking to Paul, because I mean, I would love to use real artists, but the amount of artwork I want for my game, and I can't afford.
Yeah, you're not publishing it. You're just using it.
No, not publishing. Yeah. So I'm just using it as samples or something like that. So like with Paul's game, it's fun to throw up like a gang of kids that he's dealing with, so he knows who he's dealing with, or like in your case, Joe, whatever horrific monster, or maybe your magic item thing. So it kind of gives you a little bit more of a visual. But as far as like random, I did use it once. I didn't use it once for some content. I had it make me. I said, please make me 10 magic items using this, kind of thing. So then I went down to the magic items. I took like 2 of them, liked the ideas of them, and then I had to kind of tweak them to make them work. But that was about the only time I've done it, because I wanted a specific type of magic items, and I got from when I was trying to do it. I got back from work and I had nothing in the tank to even think of anything, and I was brain dead. And then just having that little spark, kind of thing, it was easy. I mean, I could have rolled it up in a book, but I was looking for something very specific that I'm not going to find in any of my books. So I wanted a very specific type of thing. So it helped. So basically, it was just a glorified random table generator from what I had there. And then it helped me, like I said, develop. That's where you got that tier of Lavinia. So it said something like that. I liked the idea of it, but kind of I needed to tweak it so it would fit into my game. But that was the source it came from, and I like where that. But that AI doesn't really figure in too much.
I don't use it for art. What I'll use it for is lists. Like I said, give me a list of names, first names, last names, and women and male. And I said, I want them a mix of, Norman, Viking, Celtic, then just mix it up. And that's that's one thing I'll use it for is lists. I don't use it for plots, but I use it to organize. Like I use it for research a lot. Like I researched like a whole barbarian cultures from 4 to 5 different cultures. And I just did a lot of deep dive research into 4 or 5 different barbarian type, what people would call, Scythian, the Kurgans, all these different cultures throughout history, right? And the Mongolians and the Huns, and I said, I like this, I like that, and I just wrote down all these notes, burial practices of the Huns, the armor of the Scythians, and I wrote all these notes and like 10 pages of fucking notes, right? And it was all a fucking hodgepodge mess. And I said, fuck, I gotta organize this shit. I said, you know what? I gave it to Claude. I said, organize this. And holy shit, it got like 85% organization correct. I had to tinker with it, but it was all my stuff. It just put it in the right order. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So the organization of my work. I don't use it to produce work. Lists, organize my shit, research, and and one example, that party grid, for each person at the party.
Yeah.
I did what I like to do is I'll hit Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, and Grok, and I'll feed it the same query, and I'll get all the results in a Word document, and I'll take all the Word documents for like what things should I have on a little table, on a 1-page table at a dinner party in a D&D game, right? And I gave it what I wanted, and I said, using this as a base, what else do you think would be helpful? They each gave me some shit. Right, all 4 of them. I took mine. They each gave me some shit. I took all 5 documents, gave it to Claude, and said, "What do you think it is? Take what's good, take what's bad, put it in one." It gave me stuff. I tailored it, I edited it, I changed it, and that's it. So that little table for the dinner party was the output of Claude, but the input of me plus 4 different AIs that I actually edited down. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? That's the extent of my AI. But what do you, Paul? What do you do?
It's very little actually. For natural things, like if I need a table, or like for Tim said, maybe a unique, if I'm making it up, usually if I'm running a already made, adventure, I just use what the book gives me, and I'll fiddle with that. But maybe artwork, maybe something like that I want to show a picture of, or something like that. But I find I tend not to use it very much for no reason other than the fact that I'm already figured something out, and I just didn't need it.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's research, collate, and organize, and brainstorm. That's the,
Yeah, because as far as the output, like when I did like the 10 magic items, I don't really like a lot of the results. I mean, it just doesn't.
No,
it doesn't work for me. No, it's not.
Yeah,
and I look at it and it's like, but then once in a while I'll see a juxtaposition. Like a lot of times I'll like see entry 2 and entry 4, and I'm like, oh, if I put these 2 together, that's a good idea. I can work with that, and I hadn't thought of that. Let's add that into it, kind of thing. But as far as creation wise, no,
it doesn't create well.
And then the one thing I want to talk, one more thing about prep stuff though, that is invaluable. Okay, so this is a little Scorn random encounter thing that I made. This is a Silent Knives version. So what I do for Paul, Paul's playing a thief, he's in Scorn. So what I do for this one, because it's an urban-based adventure, I've got I got basically a 12. So they're 12 entries here, okay?
Yep.
And they're kind of unique, but then I also have 4 down here for replacements. So if I know he's already encountered this before, I'll replace it with the top one or the next one. That way I can still use in the same table.
That's a good idea.
So and then the daytime, this is the nighttime ones, because you're going to meet different people on that street in the nighttime compared to the daytime. Same build, D12, 4 replacements. But then on top of it, then I have a D20 for just the Silent Knives of different things that can happen within the organization and whatnot. And then on the back, I have the special events that will happen kind of periodically within the town and everything. But like if there's a bit of a lull, or there's something, maybe I got jammed up at work, or something that I couldn't come up with, or something like that, just rolling on there is enough of a seed for an adventure, for a session.
Yeah.
So doing the work in front, ahead of time, definitely pays off dividends throughout the campaign.
Tim, I'm surprised you didn't mention Tomo Adventure Design. I know you love that book.
So that's different though. That's different. That's my adventure writing stuff. So campaign prepping for a campaign is different because I mean, think about it. We're going through campaigns, and my campaigns. How many times do you guys go like maybe into a dungeon or kind of a deep dive? Maybe 1 out of 10, 20 times or something like that. Yeah. So in that case, I mean, I still use it for non-dungeon stuff every once in a while, but a lot of times that's something like a very random thing. I mean, it's great. I love it. That's for I'll use that for when I'm writing like micro adventures or different things like that if I want to do it. But it's got to flow with my campaign. I have more micro adventures than than you need. But even though I wrote them, they're going to have to be tailor made to you guys for the adventure, for the time and everything. I'll probably keep like 80-90% of stuff, but there's going to be some stuff I have to kind of make that's going to suit the situation or the time period or what's going on there. So there's always tweaking to be done.
All right, that's cool. All right, guys, that's cool. We got a wrap. I think we got 40 minutes. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Anything else you want to add, or we all set?
I think we're good. Like, subscribe, share.
Yes. Amen.
Put your comments. Put your comments down below about how you guys prep. We'd like
what you do for prep. Would love to hear because I'm always interested. That's one of my favorite things to do is what other people do. I was actually watching videos today about other guys prepping and stuff. Some of them hurt my head. I don't know how they prep the way they do. Sometimes.
I know.
It's like holy crap. That would. It seems
wrap
like
it up, Tim. I gotta piss. Wrap it. I gotta piss like a motherfucker.
Done.
I'm doing the dance here. I'm doing the dance.
I'm waiting.
All right, guys.
Comment See you guys.